Hello, everybody. My name is Omar Ali. I'm Dean of Lloyd International Honors College. I'm on the faculty of African American and African Diaspora Studies and the History Department. I'm here to kick us off for our project, our Mellon-funded project, Africans in the Greco-Roman World. So, our project, Africans in the Greco-Roman World, is a interdisciplinary humanities project that involves multiple people. Colleagues will be speaking in succession. But what we did is that we wanted to bring attention to this ancient world with a focus on Africans. We developed a course called Africans in the Greco-Roman World, which I co-taught with Dr. Becky Muich, who will be speaking shortly. As part of that course, we actually took our students to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And we also invited a speaker, Dr. Sarah Durbew from Stanford University, who was serving as a fellow at Harvard University, one of our rising stars in the field of race in the ancient world. And also Dr. Muich and I are working on a documentary source project. Next, Dr. Muich will speak.
So to speak a little bit more about the course itself, we intentionally scaffolded the faculty-mentored undergraduate research into our course by creating assignments that were designed to guide students through that process, starting with assignments like choosing a topic, developing a thesis, finding the right sorts of sources, and then ultimately writing a research paper. But we also wanted to make sure that our students learned a little bit more about disseminating their research and presenting it to non-specialist audiences. So we also asked them to create what was essentially a biographical webpage for their subjects. So they would write a short biography, they created an annotated bibliography, an image, and an approved piece of media that would serve as kind of like a Wikipedia stand-in of sorts for anyone who might be interested in learning a little bit more about their topics. So the students chose topics based on some of the more famous personages from classical antiquity, the ancient Greek and ancient Roman worlds, but who had African origins. So we might think of Cleopatra, for example, Hannibal, the Carthaginian general who fought against the Romans, Candace Amanirenas, who was a Kushite queen who fought against a Roman invasion, and even Saint Augustine, an early church father who was from North Africa. Dr. Ali mentioned our trip to the Met. That was also very formative for our students in understanding a little bit more about how visual art also changes our perceptions of the ancient world and the people who live there. So the trip to the Met also worked to enforce some of those research skills, including learning a new form of observation, focusing mostly on visual and objective observation, doing some on-site, very quick research, and then doing extemporaneous presentations for their peers. So we tried to shuffle in a lot of different information for them and give them the opportunity to build a couple of different skills. So now I'll pass it over to Dr. Glenn.
Thank you, Dr. Muich. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Cerise Glenn Manigault. I am the Program Director of African American and African Diaspora Studies, and I'm also an Associate Professor in Communication Studies. One of the other fascinating aspects of this collaboration is that it's a collaboration between the University of North Carolina at Greensboro and North Carolina Central University. So to have a collaboration between a PWI and an HBCU on this particular topic provides an opportunity for students to hear from different perspectives. And as some of you may know, UNCG is a minority serving institution, so it's very timely to have this topic for the students to help them engage and learn about Africans in the Greco-Roman world. Also, to contribute to the student learning, there were faculty class visits, so the students were able to get exposure to faculty from multiple disciplines. I was one of those guest speakers, and in communication studies, I was able to contribute to what Dr. Muich and Dr. Ali do in classics and the humanities to take a look at how what we do in contemporary media and how we tell our stories now reflect unresolved issues regarding identity in the past. And those past experiences still matter to how we interpret today. Other fields that were included, besides history, classics, is also sociology and African American and African Diaspora Studies. We also had the students present their work in progress at the CASE conference. So CASE stands for Conference of African American Culture and Experience. It's an annual conference that African American and African Diaspora Studies hosts every year, typically in February. So you see a picture of the panelists, And Dr. Germa, who's not pictured, was our facilitator. So it gave the students the opportunity to pull together their experiences from the classes and the visits that Dr. Ali and Dr. Mewich mentioned earlier. And I'll now turn it over to Dr. Germa.
Thank you, Dr. Glenn. My name is Dr. Hewan Germa. I'm an assistant professor of African American and African Diaspora Studies. Related to this project of Africans in the Greco-Roman world, we created the Ethiopian and East African Studies project of AADS in the fall of 2019. This is an interdisciplinary intellectual space to explore the histories, cultures, and significance of the country of Ethiopia and the region of East Africa more generally as part of the Indian Ocean world and within the global African diaspora. It brings together faculty from different disciplinary backgrounds, such as Dr. Omar Ali, who's in history honors, Dr. David Ahrens, who's an ethnomusicologist, Dr. Andrew Mbuvi, who's in religion, Dr. Rebecca Mewich in classics, Dr. Elizabeth Perrell in arts, Dr. Nilofer Kadir in English and IGS. We aim to encourage our common intellectual interests through research, coursework, and public lectures. In the spring 2020 semester, we hosted 3 different events related to this new project. And in the fall 2020, Dr. Omar Ali and I will be co-teaching a new course. This is Ethiopia and the Global African Diaspora, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30. And Dr. Ali, back to you.
Great, thank you very much. So this is what interdisciplinary, this is what interdisciplinary humanities research and teaching looks like. And thank you for listening in on our conversation. And a number of things have sort of been built off of it. In fact, we're going to be starting a project called Minerva's Wisdom, which incorporates some of the work that we built in our classes, in conversations, which looks at the history of our symbol of our university, Minerva, not just in terms of its origins as Athena, Greek origins, but also its Egyptian origins in terms of the deity, creator goddess called Neat. So look for that. And thanks again for participating in this conversation and listening in. Thanks, everybody. Take care.